Coming up on this episode of the Village Idiom.
Here's Steve Carell in the office using this idiom.
Sitting up here in your ivory tower and your ebony tower.
Looks around the room.
Dum dum da da, Village Idiom.
Hello and welcome to the Village Idiom.
We are a podcast that every week we choose a popular saying and we take an admittedly shallow, hopefully comedic, once in a while interesting, if we're lucky, educational dive into its meaning, its usage, its origins, but mostly we're going to use it to hang our otherwise directionless conversation on. I'm Jurassic Mark.
And I'm shallow.
Shallow.
Oh, the satisfaction of being a shallow person. So good.
Are you satisfied by being shallow? You're not a shallow person.
Well,
you can be by choice.
Yeah.
But you're not, actually.
Well, it's how much fun I want to have in a given moment. Because there's times where you just want to, like, just keep the puddle just no depth whatsoever. So I just want to have some laughs. And life has already got its own things.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean by choice. Because you're a deep person, but I've seen you deliberately keep something shallow for the sake of, this could be a 10-minute conversation, we get to a board game, or we can do counseling here. So I've appreciated intentional shallowness with me when, if I've had real life struggles and you've been there for me and you're like, hey, let's fly some helicopters.
I'm the shallow friend.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Literally perfect.
It's like life has already got enough problems of its own sometimes. Yeah. You just need to fly some helicopters.
You know when to turn it on. You know when to jump in a puddle and jump in the deep end.
It's all good.
Yeah. Well, why are we talking about shallow? Oh, that's in our intro.
Yeah. That's good.
We just got deep about being shallow.
Well, different people are just different life experiences is all I'm saying. Some people are naturally just deep all the time.
Yeah.
And so it's but sometimes it can be challenging to talk to.
They're exhausting.
They're exhausting.
It's a quality. I'm glad they're deep, but it's exhausting. Not always. Sometimes it's necessary.
So how are you feeling right now?
Oh boy.
I know. Exactly. Oh, that's so fun. This is going to be fun. And I'm immediately this dinner is awesome.
You want to have that conversation.
This dinner is awesome. Let me tell you about chicken. I love chicken. That's so good. It's delicious. The skin, it can be crispy. No one likes all nasty, saggy, sloppy.
You might as well say, tell me about
skin.
your finances. What? What are you doing right now?
Yeah. What's your plan for your future? Oh, so good. Yeah, I haven't talked to you in a year. So. Tell me all you've probably done some really interesting things.
No. Gone to work and dropped my daughter off at school every day. You know what? We got HelloFresh. It's been great.
Okay, exactly. You got to spin that thing around. We're not talking about life. Sometimes you just want to, that perspective difference from when, someone has... sometimes people come from places of prestige and depth, and that's their thing, and then sometimes not so much. And so you don't want to necessarily
I've
hit the deep end of the pool all the time.
Having not just grown up in the church, but been thoroughly knee-deep involved in church, both as just a church-going Christian and having a role as a pastor, there are too many opportunities to go deep. Yep. And so sometimes you got to be on your guard because there's times to open your soul to people. And typically, in my experience, not everybody's, typically in those, like-minded, same faith-believing group of people, it's easy. But sometimes you divulge too much. And you're like,
tip the cards out a little too far.
That was the wrong circle for that conversation. Shallow.
Sounds like you got to start.
Big fan.
You got to. Well, I think of like a pool, an actual pool. And
where are most of the people?
Well,
in the shallow end.
In the shallow end.
I'm telling
it's
you.
Safe in the shallow end. You could splash around and have fun. No real crazy drownings in the shallow end. It's people drown in the shallow end too. Okay, thanks, appreciate it. Pushes glasses on nose. But when you want to go for hey, let's dive down. What's at the bottom here. Let's go to the deep end.
The person that always wants to take the conversation deep. Here's what they look like to me. When I was about 7 years old, my dad took me to the deep end and was teaching me how to dive. And
that's a good place to learn how to dive.
Yeah. And
diving in the shallow pool.
Did it for a little while, not super successful. And went back to the shallow pool to play. But I was braver in the shallow pool, so decided to try and dove straight into the bottom, and the whole pool stopped in their tracks because of the sound my head made hitting the tiles at the bottom of the pool. I had an L-shaped
ridge from the edge of a tile?
Yeah, cut my head, not like get stitches, but you could see the shape of the tile on my forehead.
Shape of an L on your forehead.
Yeah, permanent. And so there it is. That's what a person who's trying to go deep in an otherwise shallow conversation. I ruined everybody's day. We had to leave the pool. I cried. Everyone else was just disappointed.
Right. You just wrecked the whole thing.
I tried to go deep.
Well, it's but the issue that I'm honing in on is perspective. And when someone has maybe a loftier perspective, and someone has like their experiences are more limited that way, or life has offered you more opportunity because of wealth or something like that, then of course, like you've been up in the helicopter, you've had these opportunities,
less in touch with reality.
Sure,
lofty ideas and mindset.
The strong-willed ruler of 10 million people sitting in her ivory tower.
Ivory Tower.
Sitting in the
ivory tower, people.
That's it.
Which is not just a person that goes deep. It's a person that is, well, actually, I wrote it down here. The meaning of ivory tower, which is our idiom, by the way, today. Ivory tower means a place where one may exist, isolated from the cares of the real world and everyday life. Academics, philosophers, and artists are sometimes accused of living in ivory towers, meaning that their ways of thinking are not practical in real world situations. So
not entirely in touch with...
Yeah. Oh, must be nice up in your ivory tower. Mm-hmm. That was a little clip from the Pink Panther, 1963 Pink Panther. But I'm going to play one more clip completely out of context because it just made me laugh. Here's Steve Carell in The Office using this idiom.
Sitting up here in your ivory tower and your ebony tower.
Looks around the room, does a quick racial judgment.
Your ebony and ivory. Oh, that's funny. Living together in perfect harmony.
Yeah. So yeah, someone who's up in their ivory tower. Now, that's it is not exactly how we led into this conversation. Somebody who goes deep is not necessarily living in an ivory tower. It's someone...
It's different perspectives.
Yeah. Have you ever had a friend who's just like ridiculously more wealthy than you?
Oh, yes.
And they're like, hey, we should go do da-da-da-da-da. And you're like, there's no way I can afford to do da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, for sure.
And it just doesn't...
Let's go to the restaurant.
It's not even on their brain.
Oh, what? Really?
That
now we can
somebody
make that at
else...
home.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like... And I wouldn't... Because it's definitely a slap in the face to say, oh, it must be nice in your ivory tower. It's an insult.
It is more derogatory.
But you still know those people that you're like, wow, you're not in my world. You have no idea.
It's the out of touch with reality part. So when I started, hitting it up in the Googles, there was a recent, report because maybe your part of the world is the same, but our gas prices have gone a little nuts. Mm-hmm. And so it was a message to the transport minister in another country. And it was like, well, the prices of gas are like going like crazy. Like, what's have some bone to throw us? What's the offer here to, help alleviate some of our suffering? To which our solution was, we'll just buy an electric car.
Yeah.
It's like, well, must be nice if you're.
I heard one of the U.S. guys actually.
Just buy an electric car.
He's like, well, if you're like, if you make less than $300,000 a year, public transit's probably for you. You're like. 300. That's your line? Under 300,000?
Right. Like for how many years?
And not to mention
combined?
like public transit. Yeah. I mean, if you live in the city, it is possible. But if I had to do public transit, it would take me 2 hours just to get my daughter to school.
To get to the part where you could get to the bus.
To get to the bus stop. And so
you are probably a literal half an hour walk to getting to the bus stop
from here. Yeah, totally. And not only that, but like that's eliminating everybody like farmers, tractors.
Just take your tractor. Just get an electric one.
Get an electric one.
Yeah, the Tesla tractor.
Why use public tractors? Like your comments make no sense. I told you last week.
But that out of touch with reality aspect is like, well, isn't that kind? Isn't that nice of you?
I told you last week I went on a little trip with my daughter and gas was 30 cents per liter less. 35 cents in the end per
in Alberta?
liter. Yeah, less in certain areas. Yeah, I was like, oh, I should fill up here.
I should get a jerry can.
So I did.
I should get a jerry can for my 12-hour
And then
drive.
I stopped 2 more times on the way home.
Oh, the
and
Jeep, I'm
watched it
sure,
climb.
is super good on gas, too.
It's not as bad as you'd think, but
I think it might be.
No, you remember my Volkswagen Tiguan? As much as I like driving that thing, that was a gas hog. Way worse than the Jeep.
Really?
And premium.
Oh.
And you had to buy premium. I'm like,
That's
why
so
does this
funny.
thing go through gas like this? It was so expensive.
Leaking out the bottom.
Maybe. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, those politicians in their ivory towers. I think that does apply to many politicians.
Or just, it's just this idea of differing, these different perspectives. Like, you just make you, like, so out of touch. Places that don't have a ton of food. And then, like, elephants are protected. I'm like, elephants are overprotected. And, like, as a source of food. And I'm like, well, I guess, having elephants protected is easy to say from my ivory tower, but it's like, from how much meat is on that? That's a lot of meat.
Meat on a tusk?
I'm just saying, if you're starving for something to eat and there's a surplus of, like, dingoes in your area, then, well, for sure.
Yeah.
You should be able to kill dingoes.
Yeah.
If it's right there.
So, did you look up ivory-related things? Where ivory comes from? Anything like that?
No. I know elephants. A narwhal.
Yeah, that's one of them. So I was looking. I'm like, where does ivory actually come from? And it was kind of interesting because ivory comes from mammal tusks and teeth.
Okay.
So technically, we have ivory in our teeth.
Just calcium, like,
So
teeth?
you got to get past the what's first, enamel on the outside, and underneath that. So it's a waste of time for human teeth, obviously, because there's such a small amount. But anything with like a tusk, they're outside the body and they're in use all the time. That the enamel is gone and it's all ivory until you get to even below that. I can't remember the 3 layers of teeth, but I read that elk, 2 of their teeth. This is where it got confusing because they're like, oh, here's the 3 layers, and the second layer under is on all mammals is ivory. But then it said, so it was listing walruses, elephants, mammoths, of course, narwhal. What was something else? Anyway, sperm whale, orca, warthogs, anything, hippopotamuses.
So anything that has, like, a tusk like that. Okay.
But they said elk have, here it is, elk have also have 2 ivory teeth, which they believe to be the remnants of tusks from their ancestors. But I'm like, you just told me that all our teeth are ivory underneath the enamel. So
I've never heard this.
Why are you pointing out that the elk has 2?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard ever before that all of our teeth have ivory.
Ivory is hard. Here I am, right off of Wikipedia here. Ivory is hard white material from the tusk, traditionally from elephants, and teeth of animals that consists mainly of dentine, which we all have, one of the physical structures of teeth and tusks. The chemical structure of teeth and tusks of mammals is the same regardless of the species or origin.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, who knew?
Well, Wikipedia
knows. But I didn't get into tusk material, but I did have a little game for you.
Oh.
Illegitimate children, you can chime in on this. It is tower-related material.
Okay.
All right? So I will say some little bits of trivia, and then you can tell me which tower it is. So
The Tuscan Raiders have tusks. They have those little bolts in their face.
Yeah, I don't know. You don't get to see their face too much.
Is that their face or is that a covering?
It's a covering, isn't it?
Have they ever revealed what a Tuscan Raider looks like? Because
I don't know.
Tuscan,
The Book of Boba Fett
it might be
probably was the most.
TUSC, but
Book of Boba Fett definitely had the most.
they also
time with
ride
the Tusken.
the
Bantha?
Bantha, which has some pretty curly tusks there. Oh no, they have
No, they're
horns.
horns.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
Yeah, sorry. It's
Okay.
elephant-like, but with horns.
Whatever.
Woolly mammoth, no tusks.
Yeah, it reminds me of like those like an Asian dragon. Like it's got that face, like in a dragon festival. Like
This is the way the
coming
mouth
down.
is. I think that's the technology they had in the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, towers. Okay, illegitimate children, chime in.
Muppets.
Okay, this particular tower, I'll give you a. You can just stop me in at any point. Made of
Stop.
iron.
Why am I stopping you at any point?
Once you have a reasonable guess.
Oh.
Made of iron, not steel.
Eiffel Tower.
What? Yes, right off the bat.
There we go.
The Eiffel Tower, made of iron, not steel. Okay, that's a good one. I didn't know it has an apartment at the top.
Really?
And when France was being overtaken in the war, they cut the cable to the elevator so that Hitler would have to walk all the way up instead of take the elevator.
Actually?
Yeah.
Hilarious.
It wasn't repaired till after the war.
Did he do that?
I don't know.
Oh.
But just out of spite, they're like, you don't get to go up without walking. Which I just think is hilarious. The final slap in the face. Okay. This tower used to be at a 10-degree incline, but now is at a 4-degree incline.
Is that better or worse? It seems like it's correcting itself. Is it? Is this the Leaning Tower of Pisa?
It's the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and it was it's being propped up because it's of the lean, so it was like a hydraulic situation to help.
Oh, it's intentionally.
They're intentionally
corrected,
correcting-
not like
correcting
over
it.
time it's correcting itself.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it had like a poor foundation. It's like made of marble or something too heavy for the foundation, and so it sank unevenly, which caused the
Wow.
lean.
Wow.
But there you go. Okay, Leaning Tower. Okay, Canada's tallest structure.
CN Tower.
It's the CN Tower. You are killing
Bring it on.
Illegitimate children, are you able to jump in on this? Okay, here we go.
These are my two expertise of knowledge is Elvis and towers.
Okay. This tower was built for Expo 62
Oh. Expo 62. Was that Montreal?
in Seattle.
Seattle. Oh, Space Needle.
It's the Space Needle. Yes.
That was 62, hey?
Crazy, right?
Before our time.
Yeah, well, because we've been there. That's like 60 years old.
Yeah, I've never been up it, though.
Oh, yeah.
Have you?
Oh, yeah. I got engaged at the top of that.
Did you?
Yeah, I thought that was a fun spot to go
Yeah,
do
no,
the
I've
engagement.
never been up there.
Yeah.
I've been near it.
And I've gone up with my son for special lunch. But yeah, that was pretty cool. Okay, two more here. It's the tallest structure in Dubai.
Oh, man. I know the building. I don't know what it's called. Yeah, I don't know. Something Tower?
In Arabic.
I'm not going to
It's-
pretend to make up an Arabic word.
Okay, the other, what's another famous rapper, Wiz?
Khalifa Tower?
Yeah, yes, it is.
Khalifa something?
Yes, but the other way around.
Tower Khalifa.
Because it's in Arabic. It's the Burj Khalifa.
Oh, the Burj. The Burj is Arabic for tower or whatever?
Yeah, so I started going in. I'm like, oh, is it an actual tower? People are like, no, it's not a tower. It's a building. And then it turns out that Burj was Arabic for tower.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought, well, I guess it is a tower.
Well, yeah. What differentiates between a tower and a building?
I guess whoever's naming it. So going
That's-
through famous towers of the world, and some you're like, so like the Leaning Tower of Pisa is the bell tower to the cathedral right beside it. And
Right.
so it's a tower.
Tower is a part of a castle or whatever.
Well, I guess I don't know if it just works out that way. It's
That's it. Hey, Google, what is the definition of tower?
Here's the definition of tower. A tall, narrow building, either freestanding or forming part of a building, such as a church or castle.
So it's everything.
yeah.
So I don't know if they could hear
It's
that,
all-
but
all
tall,
of those
narrow
things.
building or structure, either a standalone or part of another building.
It was some movie where the guy was like shouting. He wouldn't stop shouting. He's like, but it was like a castle. He's like, and he was like, tower, tower, tower. But I think he just had turrets. So I'm not sure. Okay.
Turrets is the.
Okay. So here's the final one.
Does a turret have to be the little cutout part?
I don't know.
I think that's the turret. It was like you could fire weapons from in between the
The slots of a turret.
slots of a turret.
Okay. Final one.
That'd be a good name of a band. Turret slots.
Well, is the contraption that makes those what's that? Is that the slot machine? I don't know. Okay, the first multilingual structure.
The first multilingual structure? Mm-hmm. The first multilingual? What does that mean for a building?
I made sure to hit you with a Village Idiom.
Is this like a riddling clue?
No.
But kinda? Like the way you're...
It will be clever. Village Idiom children, are you thinking on this one?
Bilingual bridge.
The first multilingual structure.
I don't know.
It's biblical.
Oh, ha ha ha. Tower of Babel.
There you go. Final famous tower. But there's like dozens to choose from. But
yeah,
a bunch of them were in Asia. I'm like, I've never heard of this, but maybe you had.
As you hinted there, the Tower of Babel, God mixed up everybody's languages. Does that where the word babble, like when you're just babbling about something?
Yes.
Does that come from that?
For sure. For sure. That's definitely where that came from.
Interesting.
Fish sticks on Wednesday. Definitely fish sticks on Wednesday.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
is that the end? Is that all of them?
So that's your tower. We're gonna have to start getting into some origins here.
Oh man, time flies when you're having fun. Maybe we should start doing hour-long podcasts.
Well, people can only work out for 30 minutes.
Oh, fair enough. Okay. Even though we're pressed for time, I've got another guessing game for you. So I'm going to give you 3 possible answers of where being up there in your ivory tower comes from. We'll start with number 1. Princeton University's Tower of the Graduate College was popularly called the Ivory Tower because Princeton's benefactor, William Cooper Proctor, was the manufacturer of ivory soap.
Okay. Wow. Oh, ivory soap. You're a jerk. Okay.
Number 2. Originating in the Bible, the Song of Solomon describes a woman's neck as an ivory tower. Okay, that's number 2. There's no information. It's just the origin. Number 3. The original story of Rapunzel, or Rapunzel, was written in German by the brothers Grimm. This one's a little lengthier. In its first release of 1812, it was intended to be an exotic step away from their other stories. Rapunzel was the daughter of an African sorceress and kept in an ivory tower made of a single elephant tusk.
Tell me number 2 again real quick.
The Bible, Song of Solomon, woman's neck is an ivory tower.
I don't like any of these.
Princeton's tower was the benefactor, was Proctor, who makes ivory soap.
I think the Bible one is her chest is how I remember the verse. Procter & Gamble, Princeton sounds
That'd be 2 towers.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Twin Towers is...
Twin Towers.
Anyways.
Got it.
Not important. I don't like any of these. I'm going to go with 3.
3? Rapunzel? Yeah. All right, well, should we get into it and find out the answer? Make sure you're guessing at home or on your treadmill, your Peloton.
Where'd they go? Where'd they go? No one can know. I turned around and looked behind. Those words came from another mind. Origins.
Well, it's not a shiny origin story, but in the Christian tradition, the term ivory tower is used as a symbol for noble purity and originates with Song of Songs, Song of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 4. Your neck is like an ivory tower. I think the breasts are a flock of goats or something.
Awesome.
I don't know. I can't remember.
Still awesome.
So it's also used in 16th century Litany of the Blessed Virgin Mary, Tower of Ivory, and was used in other 12th century Catholic Mary-related things, but always meant noble or purity specifically, even in the Song of Solomon. So most sources say that is the original reference to an ivory tower.
Nice.
Because there is no physical ivory tower that I know of anywhere in this world. But first modern usage of ivory tower in the familiar sense of like this otherworldly dreamer can be found in a poem of 1837, and forgive my French, Pensée de M. Villemot. I'm going with that.
It's usually people say that when they're about to curse.
Oh yeah, excuse my French.
Excuse my French.
Oh, yeah. No, I was actually apologizing for my French.
Uh-oh.
So, poem written by Charles Augustin Saint-Beuve, a French literary critic and author who used the term tour d'ivoire, ivory tower, for the poetic attitude of Alfred de Vigny as contrasted with the more socially engaged Victor Hugo. So, again, pardon my French, et Vigny plus secret comme sa tour d'ivoire avant midi rentrant. So the translation is, and Vinny the more secretive, like he was in his ivory tower, returning before midday. So that is 1837, which is hinting at the meaning, at least, of how we use it today. And then 1914, Henry James's final novel was called The Ivory Tower and was left unfinished at his death. And it was paralleling his own experience in the United States, blah, 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 blah. It still had this ivory/noble hint towards being otherworldly, out of the reality of just the everyday man. So, two potential origin stories, but I will throw this in. In Andrew Hodges' biography of the University of Cambridge, scientist Alan Turing discusses Turing's 1936 to 38 stay at Princeton University. He writes that the tower of the Graduate College was an exact replica of the Magdalen College and is popularly called the Ivory Tower because of the benefactor. So that was all true. Proctor was the benefactor, and they did call it
The Ivory Tower?
The Ivory Tower, but it's not an origin story.
That's
It's
fantastic.
Just a little bonus tidbit.
So the only one that has nothing to do with it is the Rapunzel one.
Yeah.
Perfect. That sounds about my
Rapunzel.
about my speed. Rapunzel.
But it is German. See, when I said I do research on...
I just didn't like the other two, and so it was like,
Right.
That's somehow sometimes I just choose that way.
Right.
I'm not drawn to one. I just don't like the others.
Right. So the way we use that as idiom, it's actually comes up often in academic usage and in college systems and university systems, but it still has that sort of
it's
unrealistic. It's the places that are funded more than they should be.
Yeah,
tend to be called
it's a
ivory
derogatory.
towers. It's still the same.
Yeah, it's derogatory
Yeah.
that way. Like, oh, in your ivory tower, like, oh, it's just posh, making decisions.
Educated,
for the,
funded, overly funded. Yeah, ivory towers.
That's good, man.
So yeah,
Thanks for that.
I do you remember Mark Lowry? So
the comedian.
Yeah. So Mark Lowry, he's got quite the musical history because he was a singer musician his whole life, I think, and then was in the Gaither vocal band. But he was always kind of the funny guy in the Gaither vocal band, and then went out doing stand-up, Christian comedy.
Just dropped the bar pretty low, eh?
Christian comedy, and he started doing parody music, almost like a Christian version of Weird Al. And I bring all that up because he had a song that was a parody of Amy Grant's Baby Baby. But it was all this song of Solomon, like, your cheeks are like pomegranates. Like, if Solomon can use it, why can't I? But in his song, it was your nose is like a tower.
Yeah.
And so...
the Tower of Lebanon or something like that.
So tower must be used more than once.
Yeah, I think it's in there. Your nose is like the Tower of Lebanon.
And my guess
It's
is that
is
the ivory tower,
good?
referring to the neck, had to do with the porcelain color, like a very light-skinned woman.
Or maybe just that how precious it is, like a commodity. Like,
Right.
Yeah, you can't just mine it.
Right.
Yeah.
Mine.
Yeah.
So, anyway, yeah, just a little tidbit there.
And how big would that elephant have to have been for Rapunzel to live in it?
Single elephant tusk.
It's huge.
That part wasn't real.
Of course it wasn't real.
It was never set in Africa. There was no elephant
I
tusk.
hate these gays.
You did good. You always get it. I'm having to work at these
Yeah, well,
to get you even remotely off track.
that's good. I appreciate your deception. Well, we should wrap things up here with some
should
riddling.
we ever?
Let's wrap.
Riddle Link is a game we like to play. It takes a two-part trivia-based question, requires a two-part but overlapping answer, overlapping by sound, syllables, words. So, for example, last week, episode 170, which was episode 169. This is 170. 170 episodes, man. That's crazy. 170. Last week was 169. Wipe that smile off your face. We had some fun at Will Smith and Chris Rock's expense. And we left you with this idiom, or this riddle link. A direct order to stop grinning. Alrighty then. Did you get that one? A direct order to stop grinning. Alrighty then.
Sorry, I was so reading mine that's not. I've got nothing in my head right now.
Okay, well, it was wipe that smile off your face, Ventura.
Yeah.
So wipe that smile off your face and Ace Ventura.
Alrighty then.
Yeah,
that's good, Jim
they're
Carrey.
combined. I can't do impersonation, but I figured the words would get everybody. And that's how you play Riddlink. I got a couple for today.
And I have a couple. Let me go get the ball rolling here. Okay, illegitimate children, chime in. Danger, Will Robinson. Touch the heavens from Seattle.
That's funny.
Danger, Will Robinson. Touch the heavens from Seattle.
Is it Lost in Space Needle?
That's it.
Lost in Space Needle?
Good
Nice.
one. Did you beat him to the punch on that one? Chime in. Okay, give one to me.
All right.
Say it twice, for goodness sake.
Richard Dean Anderson's most known role is a lofty place and not based in reality.
Tell us again.
Richard Dean Anderson's most known role is a lofty place and not based in reality.
I keep getting MacGyver in my head. Do I get half right?
Yep. That should be all you need to get
MacGyvery Tower?
There it is.
Okay.
Wow. Oh, I lost my music.
What wasn't the whole thing like that? I got side railed like just with part of it. I don't know why it messed me up.
Then you're stuck.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, I got another one. Let me go through number 2. Illegitimate children, chime in.
Gets quiet when the music is gone.
The rich. Should I wait?
No.
You got to sort it out here. Okay. I'll keep going then.
Do it. Keep going.
The rich are insulated from reality.
Yeah.
According to Genesis 11.
Oh.
The rich are insulated from reality, according to Genesis 11.
Genesis 11. So I'm assuming the first half is just Ivory Tower. But what's Genesis 11?
There's something that starts with tower in the Bible.
Oh, is it the same one? Ivory Tower of Babel? Oh, man. I didn't know. I wasn't looking for a repeat.
You better have beat him to that one.
Ivory Tower of Babel.
What do you mean repeat? There's no repeat?
No, because we talked about it earlier. I was discounting that Bible story.
Oh, we always talked about it earlier.
We had Tower of Babel and Solomon. I was thinking of a third one.
The extra tower?
Yeah. Well, I only have one more.
Her legs are like towers. I don't know. It's probably in there somewhere.
Probably.
Yeah. Her nose is like a tower.
She's all towers.
You've got
all towers.
You've got a tower
all the
fetish.
Come on, Solomon.
Solomon just likes towers.
We need some new
Her
words.
arms, let me guess, they're like towers. Yeah, we heard it.
I got one more. You want to tell everybody how they can play along?
Sure. You can reach out to us on Instagram at the.village.idiom or email us thevillageidiompodcast@gmail.com, or whether it's the Facebooks, the Twitters, or the YouTubes at 3 Minutes Gone.
Perfect. Here it is. I'm going to read it twice. This one's going to be, I think people are going to have to Google this, but I think you'll get it. A Tusky steeple for Dr. Robert Schuller.
Okay, yeah.
A Tusky steeple for Dr. Robert Schuller.
I've been there, and that's 3 Minutes Gone. I've been to this location,
The Tusky steeple.
in California. Well, that's fun putting today's episode together. We hope you enjoyed it.
I said we're going soft up here in this ivory tower.
That's all.
Is it Emil? Come on.
No, that
come on,
was
Mangiani.
It's Always Sunny in... Who? Oh, yeah, no, it wasn't.
Okay.
Actually, it looks like Chris Elliott on here, but I'm not sure if it is.
Either way,
Either
we
way.
still enjoyed it. I hope you did too. I'm Skinny,
I am Jurassic Mark.
and these are the Village Idioms.
Come down from your
You know this song?
No.
Oh.
That's 3 minutes gone.